Han Meditations. All right, guys, it's happening. The United States shot down 4 UFOs.
UFOs.
They shot them down. They killed them. But all jokes aside, let's watch this together. I want to see what's going on. Let's see what the government has to say. Let's watch their press conference. Let's get into the details of what's going on. We'll give you guys the exact timeline of what happened, when it happened, and give our expertise on it. So let's watch this video.
First of all, to add to information already provided earlier by the White House, at the direction of the President of the United States, fighter aircraft assigned to U.S. Northern Command successfully took down a high-altitude airborne object off the northern coast of Alaska at 1:45 p.m. Eastern Standard Time today within U.S. sovereign airspace over U.S. territorial water. On February 9, North American Aerospace Defense Command detected an object on ground radar and further investigated and identified the object using fighter aircraft. The object was flying at an altitude of 40,000 feet and posed a reasonable threat to the safety of civilian flight. U.S. Northern Command is beginning recovery operations now. U.S. Northern Command's Alaska Command coordinated the operation with assistance from the Alaska Air National Guard, Federal Aviation Administration, and the Federal Bureau of Investigation. We have no further details about the object at this time, including any description of its capabilities, purpose, or origin. The object was about the size of a small car, so not similar in size or shape to the high-altitude surveillance balloon that was taken down off the coast of South Carolina on February 4. Separately, U.S. Northern Command continues their recovery operations in support of the recent takedown of the Chinese high-altitude surveillance balloon. Recovery teams have mapped the debris field and are in the process of searching for and identifying debris on the ocean floor. Debris that's been recovered so far is being loaded onto vessels, taken ashore, cataloged, and then moved onwards to labs for subsequent analysis. And while I won't go into specifics due to classification reasons, I can say that we have located a significant amount of debris so far that will prove helpful to our further understanding of this balloon and its surveillance capabilities. Of note, due to less than favorable sea states right now, teams will continue to conduct underwater survey and recovery as conditions permit. The department wants to thank our interagency partners from the U.S. Coast Guard, the FBI, and state and local authorities for their continuing assistance and partnership.
All right. Well, you just heard it there. He said it was 40,000 feet above sea level, I believe. And he said that it was the size and shape of a car, a vehicle. So that's clearly not a jet or something like that.
No.
What do you think about this, Kelly? This is very interesting that they're coming out and they're saying this to us. They're letting us know, hey, we shot this down. I know the government, a lot of times they want to have that fearful mind state. They want to put you in fear. They want you to believe a galactic war is possibly going to happen. And with 2023 marking the year of open contact with extraterrestrials, I believe they're trying to take a proactive approach and trying to make it seem like we're under attack of sorts. So what do you think?
Yeah, I mean, they didn't give a whole lot of details about as far as the description of the ship. All we really got was that it's about the size. Object. Yeah, about the size of a car. I think honestly that, we covered it recently, how they've been dripping this into the media, into the news, that there are UFOs that they just don't know what it is. And it's actually kind of moving quickly. I think this is all part of the plan about releasing more information about what is truly out there. And actually, I really think that they've been shooting these things down since forever, but they're just starting to release information. And I think they find it to be the perfect time with the Chinese balloon floating around, because it kind of is like, okay, well, if we release this at the same time, it could just have people thinking, oh, maybe this is from another country, maybe this is from China, maybe it's the same type of thing going on here. So I think it's very, very planned out.
Yeah, I would even go as far as to say that the Chinese air balloon may not even be from China. It may be something
Never
that
know.
we created here so that they can get more funding for the defense budget, like they need more money. Um, I mean, we're spending trillions of dollars at this point, but they're always looking to get more money. They want to be prepared for an extraterrestrial threat, even though we know they're peaceful. But it's just interesting to me that, like Kelly said, at the same time as this
Hmm.
balloon goes down, they
Exactly.
shoot down three more unidentified objects. So that's just insane to me, and it's really disturbing. Let's get into the full timeline. So the
Yeah.
first thing that happened was on February 4th, is whenever they shot down the first um the first
Craft.
unidentified craft.
Only 10 days ago.
So that was the Chinese spy balloon essentially. On
Okay.
February 4th, they shot it down in the Alaskan. No, that's not Alaska. They shot it down in the Atlantic Ocean over North Carolina, I believe.
Okay.
No, it's way off. I'll just read it. After spending a week crossing the US and Canada, a suspected Chinese spy balloon finally made its way off of the South Carolina coast on February 4th, where the US shot it down over the Atlantic Ocean. Military officials said bringing the balloon flying at an altitude of 60,000 feet down over land posed a risk to people on the ground. The balloon has been described as being the size of three school buses.
Oh,
So the
wow.
Chinese spy balloon, this was a lot larger than just one vehicle.
Yeah.
So that was very interesting that that happened. And then 6 days later, on February 10th, a U.S. fighter jet shot down an unidentified object flying off the northern coast of Alaska on February 10th. The object flew at a lower altitude than the balloon at above 40,000 feet and was smaller, about the size of a small car. So that's what we just heard
Hmm.
from one of the government officials right there. Then, February 11th, as a part of the North American Aerospace Defense Command NORAD operation, Canadian and U.S. fighter jets were tasked on February 11th with intercepting an unidentified flying object that entered Canada's airspace. A U.S. fighter jet eventually shot down the object over central Yukon, and he missed the first shot, which is very interesting. And that missile cost us taxpayers $400,000.
Ooh.
So they obviously just don't care. I mean, obviously the money was already spent because they had the missile, but it's just interesting to think about that.
Huh.
So, and then we have more. February 12th, a U.S. fighter jet shot down another unidentified flying object over Lake Huron on February 12th, the fourth such downing in 8 days. The U.S. took down the object, which has been described as having an octagonal shape, as it flew at an altitude of 20,000 feet. So the last one, it just gets more and more strange.
And
Where the last one,
closer.
yeah, closer to the ground every time. It's getting
Right.
stranger, and they're starting to describe it now. It's saying it has an octagonal shape, like they want it to be known as some kind of
Yeah.
unidentified flying object, some extraterrestrial craft. And I saw someone saying that Neil deGrasse Tyson said that if an extraterrestrial ship could get shot down, then those are stupid aliens, and we wouldn't even want to meet them, which is just completely ignorant. Because number one, if an alien can travel here, they're not stupid. And number two, you're viewing it from the lens of a human being, that human beings only care about the survival of their body. Extraterrestrial beings are enlightened beings that know that they are infinite, that know that their body does not define who they are, what they are, and that if their body gets destroyed, then they can still live on forever, just as we can, but we just don't know it because we're in the physical reality and it's so dense. So if an extraterrestrial being knows that if they get shot down and if they could possibly die, if that would help further the agenda of open contact and help humanity
Hmm.
as a whole, then they wouldn't have any problems going on that mission or taking that risk. Or what if the extraterrestrials are a part of a hive mind, and if you destroy one body, it doesn't really matter to them that much? Or they could just be AI, or if they die, they could just go back to another avatar on their planet. So, like a video
Hmm.
game. So, there's just a bunch of possibilities that we are unaware of. But my personal opinion, I do not think these are extraterrestrial, because if they were, I believe this information would be classified. I believe they're fear mongering and trying to get us to believe that these are UFOs, unidentified flying objects from outer space. What do you think, Kelly, about all this information?
Yeah, I mean, like I said, unfortunately, you shouldn't be that way. But when it comes to the government's information that they're putting out, you have to play devil's advocate and question everything and believe anything is possible. So,
Yes.
again, just the timing of how it's so perfectly pretty much one day after the other. And then each time it's a little bit closer. And then it's a little bit of a freakier
And then they
shape.
describe it even more every time.
Exactly.
First, it's just some balloon that's, the size of 2 school buses. Then it's smaller to size of a vehicle, and then it gets to the point where it's just an octagonal shape, which is just interesting. And it goes from 60,000 feet to 40,000 to 20,000.
Yeah,
the next one's going to
conveniently.
be a land vehicle. I mean,
Right. And of course, and first it's in the ocean, and then it's making our way to our Great Lakes, like kind of
Exactly.
more and more into our country. So I think there's some type of plan they're doing here. I don't know what exactly. It could be just testing out how the general public is reacting to this type of information.
which they do all the time.
Of course. So, and also, like we said, conveniently placing at the same time as this so-called, and even this article says it's not confirmed that it's Chinese, it's suspected. So
Exactly.
keep all that in mind. And we're going to be covering this a lot more. It's very interesting, and it's happening right now. All I can say is spread this information as much as you can, because it is happening.
Yeah, because people need to know not to be afraid, not to be scared, but to be aware.
Yes.
So you can be aware without having that fear-based system inside of you. Just know what they're trying to do and overcome it. So it's very interesting to me. I love getting into this kind of information and watching it and seeing it. And we're going to be following this very closely, guys, very closely. We're going to be updating this as soon as more updates come out. We'll give you our opinions and what we think. So yes, thank you for watching. We'll be talking a lot more about this and going into even more depths and deep dives.
Thank you.
Thank you, guys.